Got it. Okay. So the idea is I saw this like this video where someone trains an AI to find where's Waldo on a page, and it like I feel like like a human can do it better. I think a human can find it faster, and they just need some motivation. So we're gonna just give them incentive. We need to use the eye tracker to see how fast a human finds where's Waldo. So, and then if they don't, like fucking, I don't know, like electrocute them or something. Then, so I'm gonna show the eye tracker. Thank you. Okay, if I bring the eye tracker on, you can see where I'm looking on the screen. So I'm looking at like this dot here. It's a little off because calibration's off, but if I move it like a little bit, it gets in the general area, and you can adjust for precision after. So you see where I'm looking all over the screen, and let me quit Discord. Now, no, let me turn off gaze track. So the idea is we want to track someone's vision. That's their vision, right? Fucking wherever it is on the screen. Woo, could be over there. Could be over here. And we need to track it and find a select point where Waldo is, like a predetermined point where Waldo is. So, like, that's what Waldo looks like, right? No, that looks like a burglar. A little poofy gray hat, glasses. No, that looks racist. Good enough. Yeah. So, thanks, Lily. Yeah. That's so fucking good. Give me a sec.
Michael's hungry. He's so cute.
It's wait, is Will in the chat? Hey Will, how's it going, man? I don't think I told you about this project. Have you seen William Osmond? Yeah. I don't know if he's actually here, but So eye tracker, Will, gaze track, super nice little proprietary like device that these people have made, and they've only exposed the API to fucking C# .NET applications. Like, I mean, it's just .NET applications, but that's why I have to use C#. They've only made like a library for C# to engage with the eye tracker. So I would like much rather use Node.js, or actually I'd much rather use Python for this because it involves a lot of GUI stuff. But good news is your boy knows C# and WinForms. So boom, back to Visual Studio, and that's why we're here. So this is just like placeholder form. It gets populated when you turn it on. I can show it a little bit. Here, Lily. Actually, do you care about being on camera? So if you don't, all right. No, it's all good. I can show it. If you start up Visual Studio.
Whoa.
All right. So there's Waldo. Where's Waldo? Right? And oh yeah. True. Looks pretty sick to us.
It was really cool though.
Okay. This'll do it. Okay, that comes up. So random where's Waldo puzzle comes up. This is like where Waldo is, and the little label is just a placeholder for where my eyes are. So it's gonna keep moving around with the coordinates of the eyes. And when I go over where's Waldo, it's not really calibrated very well. So, but the little button will turn from true to false, and this is like a area of error. So the more you turn it up, the easier it is to see them. Anyway. we can go through the coding for it, which is the end to the cool part of the stream. That was probably the most interesting part we're gonna get. Mm. Mm. Okay. As well, actually, in the chat, I would like.
People, I don't know. Sometimes they say it, but they're
Oh.
not actually there.
I'd like to see what he was typing if he were.
Whoa,
Thank-
Jake, for 10 gifted subs.
Thank you, Jake, for 10 gifted subs. That's epic.
That's it.
Okay, so going through the software for it, it's already kind of built out, so it's hard to know what's going on, but we can go from the beginning. WinForms just initializes a form. So we're in Visual Studio. It comes prepackaged with like a framework that lets you build GUI applications really easily. And I used to work in WinForms actually, which is kind of lucky, but it's sort of an outdated framework, but it is still not bad. Let me change the music really quick. Oh, there's no music playing, Wimo. Oh, fuck it. Lo-fi. The default, yeah. Alright. Some music for this. Boring. Alright. So, let me just go from the top. Right here is kind of like the entrance for the software. There is like an actual main function over here, but all it does is set up the form to run. So imagine this class, like all of this text, right? All of this text represents this window, this box, right? So yeah, imagine that as a representation of the code. So all this code goes into that rectangle. We initialize all the components that are built on and maximize the window. Pretty straightforward. We should probably look at the like working principles of the game. So working principles go like this. We need to talk about how we get input from the eye tracker. So let's go down to where that happens. All right, perfect. So on form load, this function gets called. This is the function handler for when the form loads in. Kind of intuitive. So when this form comes on the screen, this bit of code runs, right? So what this bit of code is doing is saying it's taking the gaze point stream. So that's the info from the library that is from this eye tracker, right? And it's setting that to a variable, a local variable we have all the way up here. It's not the best way to do things, but it's not too bad. So eye location is now set to the gaze point in a nice little point object. And so that happens once. That's just pointing the stream of eyeball data to the gaze point, or to the eye location variable. Then the other important part is this loop timer, which runs every 5 milliseconds. And every 5 milliseconds, we run on loop event, which is down here. If anyone has questions, type it in the chat. I'm gonna try. Hey Lily, you have a question? You can go.
Can you give me moderator on Franksters?
Huh?
Go to Better TV.
Nope.
You're gonna want this. Can I download it?
Mm-hmm. This doesn't seem like a question.
No, this is super important though.
What is it?
Fuck. Ah, shit. Better TV.
Haha, emotes go brr. Haha.
You want these. So,
Oh, that's
If
what
you wanna,
BTTV
you know
means.
these monkas,
Oh,
right? You
I
wanna
love
add
monkas.
monkas? Yeah, okay, cool. You want omega
I
roll?
love papagas.
Okay, I'm just gonna add. You want poggers?
Yeah, you can just
Okay,
add
yeah.
like all of them. Are good.
Pepe hands? You want the Pepe hands?
Yeah, please give me the pepe hands,
Okay.
please.
Pepega? You like Pepega?
Wait, how? What is this even doing?
This is so like it's an extension for Twitch. Almost everyone uses this. I think you want for your channel Peppo G.
Got it.
Do you see it?
Peppo G.
Peppo G. Oh, people happy too.
Huh.
Feels weird, man. I like that one.
Yeah.
You're gonna use it.
I'll use coggers.
Easy. You can use coggers.
Coggers go brr. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. TOS.
I don't think I'll need that one, but
XW for sure.
yeah, that one's kind of epic.
Five head, add that.
No, it's fine.
This will
seems
enhance
necessary.
your Twitch chat experience.
I don't know what you're doing actually. Is this just replacing this little like text snippets with the emoji?
So
with the animation?
everyone like has this. It's an extension. Like everyone uses
yeah.
it.
So
it's just something every streamer just has.
Does it turn the text snippets into
Yeah,
these?
into this, yeah.
I was wondering. I thought that was a Twitch thing.
No. I feel like they should.
Right?
Right? Yeah. Where can we search up? I don't know how to search up. Guys, where's Peppo G? Control F. P-E-P-O-G.
Pepog.
Where's Pepog? Okay, let me keep looking.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta redo the page thing.
Okay. Where is it?
God, this is so hard.
Holy shit!
So
I
hard
can't
to see the
it.
highlights.
Peppo
It's
G.
usually near the top, right? Do you want to highlight?
Oh, wait, no, that's not it. Oh no, that is it. That is it. Go back there. Yes, we found it.
What the fuck is that?
It's Peppo G. It's like when your stream viewers are gonna take notes.
Haha, Peppo G.
No, it's refresh. It should work now.
Okay.
See?
That one's.
See, now they're taking notes.
That one's epic.
Peppo G, Peppo G. See, now everyone wants to learn. Okay, cool.
Thanks,
Keep
Lily.
going.
Okay, so every 5 milliseconds, this snippet of code is running, right? What does the snippet of code do? This snippet of code goes to another function called writeLabel. WriteLabel is what draws the label to the screen. Now, Michael, couldn't you just update the text of the label like, couldn't you just write label, I think it's iLabel? iLabel, yeah. iLabel.text. Can you just set that equal to whatever text you want in? So like fucking Peppo G. Can you just set it to that anytime? Well, you're gonna run it and you're gonna say WinForms is dog shit because you can't update GUI code from a different thread than it was created on, which is just like lots of talk for meaning it's gonna be harder. So instead of that, you gotta check if an invoke is required and then invoke it and then send it like a death delegate and a method invoker. It's a really just big pain in the ass way to say, okay, I want the text of the label to be X, or whatever you want it to be. So I'm gonna run it again. I'll show you. So every 5 milliseconds, it's saying, okay, I want the X and Y. They can't see it. What am I fucking? Every 5 milliseconds, it's updating that label that's flying around the screen. It's updating its location and its text property with the X and Y coordinates. If I can just look at one thing for long enough, you can probably see it updating in small amounts. So let me just end this. Boom. And creating a window. Visual Studio. Okay. And confused by what? Just fucking let me know. We know like this updates where that label is, a little rectangle jotting around the screen, which represents my eye location when I look at the screen. That one's kind of epic. The language, this is C#. and I explained why it has to be like this. Yeah. Thank you. I feel like
I have no idea what you're talking about.
do you want, like, what do you think? What do you want to know?
Okay, so C# is a language.
Language.
Cool.
And like other like parts of it you want to know about?
Okay. Can you like just go through it again? You know.
Okay, right. So at the start, we say, I want this window to open, right?
Yes.
Window fucking open.
Yeah.
That's
open.
window go burr. Window
Yeah,
good. Window good.
open.
Then you start a little like a loop. Like a loop that says, a timer that says every 5 milliseconds you say, update something, right? Like update the location of something. In that loop, we're on this on loop event, we'd say, okay, we have a label. We have this label up here. It's a placeholder text. We'd say, okay, I want that label to go to where his eyes are on the screen. So you set the location of that label to hit detection. No. Yeah, right. Track bar value. Wait. On loop event. Detection. Oh yeah. On loop event, we go to right label. That's so it calls it from on loop event. Just imagine this snippet being here. So it's every 5 milliseconds. It's saying, do this, right?
Yeah. Every 5 seconds.
5 milliseconds. Sorry.
5 milliseconds.
Yeah.
Do this.
Do every 5 milliseconds. Do this.
Yes.
Do this.
Yes.
And what this is saying, you just ignore that. This is some stupid cross-thread C# bullshit. You're doing essentially just these 3 things for the label. You're saying, okay, I want to change the label's text, right? I'm going to set the label's text equal to this, which is just a string, interpolated string that says, okay, I want to put the X of where I'm looking on the screen and then the Y of where I'm looking on the screen, right? And that's what the label said. This is just to help me like debug stuff. And then you're saying, okay, I want the location of a label, which is why it juts around the screen, to be equal to the same. Which is why it moves around the screen, exactly the same. And then we just bring it to the front. So essentially, it's just these 2 lines running every 5 milliseconds, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and that's
I understand.
yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Yeah. And then the next important part. Chat, does anyone want to know what the next any questions?
I feel like everyone's like, can I close to the Cody stream yet? And then they listen, they're like, I don't
Okay, it's actually like hard because I already like made this, and it's really hard to look at something that's already made. Like I can't look at existing code very well. Thank you.
Is there a specific reason to the C#
Yeah.
or any other language?
Fuck, that was a big piece of meat. Yeah, the people who made the eye tracker only built it library on .NET. So you have like a free library on .NET. So I just had to go with C# and WinForms. How do I generate the images? So the images are. I can show you that. That's.
This stay like this?
Yeah, it stays. And sure, the images are they're not generated. They are. Now I can show it. So it's actually just sitting in a folder in the debug folder. and it's just images. It's just Where Waldo images, and I've gone through them and found Waldo, right? He's right over here. And like if you put that into, I think it's Paint. Has a shitty program like Paint. Bring that over into Paint. I just use Paint, but you can see in the bottom left where the pixels get shown, wherever your cursor is. So I just mouse over Waldo. That's where he is. He's at 382, 10, 25. So we load in a random image, just any one of those images. And we process like, okay, in the title it says exactly where Waldo is. So that's where we put the button to like indicate where is this, just for debugging. And then when I actually test it on people, we're gonna take the the button out and see how fast they can find them, or they're gonna get shocked. Man, it's fucking hard to explain something that already exists.
You should put the eye tracker on and see where you're looking at on the screen. And then go look at girls. Ooh,
That one works good.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's sick.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Where's Waldo Gopher? So it's you can watch the little text in there. How it's true for me looking at him, false for me not looking at him. I think that's the general concept. That's a Cogler's moment. So this is an application that's like done. That's why it's really very hard to explain. It's because it's finished. It's kind of hard to get into how it works, but we still have to write I need to write a small web server that's going to sit on a Raspberry Pi and wait for a call here where this is a case where you fail to find it. So send it to a Raspberry Pi and they maybe electrocute them. I don't know. Fucking out. Maybe. Or that's actually the only thing you would send to the Pi. And that we can do in something that is not Visual Studio C#, thank God. That is something we can do in Visual Studio Code instead, which is a lot better. And we can do it with like fucking Node.js, so I can start making this. Let me first change it over. I would like Visual Studio. Oh no. Code.exe.
Let's get a drink. You want anything?
Drink the water. Thank you. Yeah, I might have some. Thank you. Okay. Just need to get VS Code. I guess I could do display capture, right? Nah, that's kind of cringe. Yeah, I'll get something. Don't worry about it yet. Code. Visual Studio Code. Yeah, don't seem to be able to get it. Well, we'll just go over to that. Okay. Software go beer. Okay, I would like to go into my file directory, and we're gonna go over to my desktop. We're gonna go over to projects, and let me just do like I guess it's gonna be Pi chair. Yeah, sure. Open up a bash window there. We're gonna say npm net. We're gonna be doing this in Node.js, by the way. Wait, what's Visual Studio Code? Visual Studio Code is just a code editor. It's like a Notepad or like an Atom, or like a Sublime Text. So set that name, and the language we're going to be using is called Node.js, and we're going to be running with a framework called Express. Yeah, fuck Notepad++. That shit's cringe. Visual Studio Code is just like, I wish I could use it for absolutely everything. I think I can use it for absolutely everything. All right, so we started it up. Let me just say, I want this to be in projects. Desktop. Project. Just go to PyChart. Index.js. It'll save as a JavaScript file. Cool. And what do you like about Visual Studio Code? It's just a very nice lightweight code editor. Like, there's a lot of customization. I don't really use a lot of the customization options, but it works very well right out of the box. Stuff like Sublime Text, you have to like kind of pay for unless you crack it. And stuff like Notepad++ look like dog shit. So we're going to be running with this. I would like to npm i-save express. This is going to be a really quick little web server that's going to just react to post requests when I send it. So it's like kind of, instead of having everything, God, I wish I had a whiteboard. Instead of having every bit of code run in one application and like worrying about how to connect, my computer to a fucking taser or something, instead we package this application in like, a ball, pretend it's in a ball, and then that handles the Waldo logic, right? And some other bit of code runs somewhere else, and that handles the tase someone in the ass logic. And the only reason those two can talk to each other is through like really simple HTTP requests. So they're easily manageable, very simple stuff. It's kind of like a very jank, like, microservice framework, I guess, kind of idea. Anyway, God, how do you write JavaScript again? Holy shit, how do you import JavaScript? Node.js import. Oh yeah, require. Listen, you're gonna be forgetting how to do things a lot in programming, so import libraries. Hey man, I haven't. This in a minute. Ah, yeah, that's what it is. Do I want to change it? Yeah, fuck it, whatever. Let what do you want to call it? Express equal require. I also type very slow, so Express. Okay, now we're gonna look up Express examples, and by look up I mean go into my old projects and just fucking look at the Express examples, because there's a lot of boilerplate stuff that I don't have memorized because there's no reason to. Definitely have it in surgery. No, I don't have it in surgery. Just kidding. No. Share pie chart. Boy. And drinking cup had it. Damn it. Docker. No. Go hand shit. Oh, nice.
I just was craving for peanut butter jelly
Thank you, Lily.
What do you think? Don't like your porn.
Oh.
Be careful.
Are you not allowed to like share it?
Only for tier 3.
Web server? Oh, maybe. Modules app. Yeah, here, let me take it to camera really quick. And then open that with Visual Studio Code. Ah, yeah, there it is. Nice. Require Express. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. You really just like remember. You see it. Require Express. You can just call it like that. Yeah. Okay. Back to. I think it's good. Back. This. Okay. So you can actually initialize it right there and call it. And instead of that, let's call this app. Since I don't think we need any libraries from Express, so we can say app dot. Let's just write like a quick GET request to see if it's working on the network. And I think all you got to do is. Was it app dot? No, I fucking forget again. Holy shit, boilerplate is hard. Move over to cam, then open this. Yeah, that's epic. Yes.